what it comes down to, Drew, is your ability to know that you're going to strike the ball. Okay. At first, it's please, Lord, help me make contact with this golf ball. You don't even care where it goes at that point. It's just please make contact with the golf ball.
Welcome to the OnPar Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We want to start by thanking our sponsors, Core CBD and Steady Returns. And I want to kind of tell you why we started this podcast and how it all came to be. Started out, I volunteered for the First Tee of Broward 100-hole challenge, which is an insane day of golf. We play 100 holes of golf in one day, and we send out the link to everybody we know and say, hey, listen, you should really donate to this because I'm playing 100 holes of golf in the middle of August in South Florida where it's 100 degrees and 1,000% humidity. So let's help the kids and veterans in Broward County. And somehow a month into that, after recruiting a few more golfers, I became the chairman of this event, and I'm kind of coming up on my 4th year doing that. So how does that relate to starting a podcast? Through this process, I've met a whole bunch of great people. One of them is the new director over the last year and change of First Tee of Broward. His name is Sean Kicker. He's actually my co-host here. And the way that it came about is I had an idea about a year and a half ago that we should shoot some videos to help these 60 or so golfers raise more money and help more kids and veterans in Broward County in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So we did the videos. I did the interviews. Sean was there. He said, Drew, these interviews came out really, really great. You should have a podcast. And I looked at him and I go, Sean, I don't know anything about having a podcast. He goes, no, he goes, I'll be the golf guy and you'll be like the novice and we'll figure it out from there. And, 4 lunches later and 10 phone calls or 20 phone calls, we now are launching today the OnPar Podcast. So thanks again for Steady Returns and Core CBD for making this happen. Also, the podcasting studio in Fort Lauderdale, VoiceBox PCS. A big thank you to Malia. Thank you so much for having us. And let me just kind of give you the background of who Sean Kicker is. So here's a little bit of his bio. He started in the golf business in 1990 at Binks Forest. He played in nearly 600 tournaments. He had 6 wins. His career low is a 64, which is about 23 strokes less than my career low. He's been nominated more than 30 times for every award category in the PGA of America. Here's a few of them. 2002 New England PGA Maine Chapter Merchandiser of the Year. 2018 South Florida PGA Southern Chapter Youth Player Development Award. 2019 SFPGA Southern Chapter Horton Smith Education Leader Award. 2020 First Tee Broward Coach of the Year. I can attest to that because my daughter's been in his program twice now and is currently in it. And 2020 SFPGA Southern Chapter Golf Professional of the Year, and he has taught over 25,000 lessons. Take it away, Sean Kicker.
Whew, wow. Hold on a second. That's a lot, isn't it?
You need a podcast, too.
I didn't have enough on there already, so I decided that maybe we should do a podcast as well, Drew.
So let's talk about, since this is our first one and this is our initial launch in the next week or so, why are we doing this? What are some of the goals we have here? And I know one of them, for me, is to pick a golfer's brain, right? I mean, I'm a weekend golfer. I golf for business and networking, and I help grow my business through the game of golf. I really want my kids involved in golf because I was a late bloomer. I didn't start picking up a real golf club until about 37. And just recently, over the last 3 weeks since I've been taking lessons with you, started taking it really seriously and practicing. So, I want my kids to have the advantage of starting young because the people that I know that started really young are much better golfers.
Yeah, no, absolutely, no doubt about it. I mean, I wish I had started younger. I didn't get started until I was about 12 years old. I really didn't take it seriously until I was about 15 or 16. By then, I'm at such a disadvantage compared to everyone else. I worked hard, became a professional golfer, but there were kids that were way better than me, and it took a lot of work and a lot of effort to catch up to them over time.
And you mentioned something to me the other day, which is, there's not really there's a lot of podcasts out there that are focused on golf and they do some different things, but there's not really a professional that we have the pleasure of picking your brain and learning from you and figuring out, how we can improve. So that would be one major thing that we'll be talking about. And we're going to do the Sean's pro tip of the day at the end of each episode and things like that. So why don't you talk about some of the other ideas that we had, is like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, one is I love the game of golf. Number two is I really like helping people. And you and I are both interested in bettering our local community, all right, through the veterans work that we do with the United States veterans, the special needs programs, and the kids programs as part of First Tee. First Tee is a national organization, got started in 1995 with the late President George H.W. Bush and the former commissioner of the PGA Tour, Tim Finchem. And their idea was to bring the game of golf to those that wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to do so. I fell into that category where if I had a First Tee program when I was a kid, I probably would have had a golf club in my hand much, much earlier than I did. And so that's what we do. We are in 13 different locations, 13 golf course locations in Broward County. We have almost 1,000 participants between our boys and girls clubs, our in-school programs. We actually do in-school PE programs using this snag equipment, starting new at golf, SNAG. And we introduce life skills, 9 core values, and 9 healthy habits.
Yeah, and I got to see that program go into 2 local schools. One, my son was going to Bayview Elementary, and then the other one I actually introduced Jack to is Fox Trail, where my daughter was going at the time. So it's a really cool program. I got to see it in person. I've been to many of the First Tee kid programs. Of course, I'm there every Saturday with you with Tessa. And then I've been to the veterans a couple of times with Jack. So I really fell in love with the charity, and really more importantly, the people that are involved. Dan Young and Jack Bloomfield got me involved about 4 years ago, and I've met so many great people, and I know I keep harping on that, but I found that the more I play golf, the more great people I meet.
Yeah, it's uncanny how many people that we meet. And that's the one thing why I'm no longer running golf courses. I'm part of First Tee, and it's the people. It's the level of people that are involved on our board, the ambassadors, yourself, the people that we meet, part of the 100-hole challenge like Curfton. We've become almost like family, and here we are in business together.
And it spills over into all the other aspects of your life. And one thing First Tee preaches is the same things that make you a good golf partner also make you a good person.
Yeah, no doubt about it. When you're touching the courtesy, for instance, in golf, it's standing still, being quiet, paying attention. Okay, in life, I always translate it to the kids that are in the lunch line. Why you're fighting. Let the person through. Hold the door. That kind of thing. And later in life, it's when they're out there on the roads, right? Here in South Florida, all we hear is honk, 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 honk. Relax. The light just changed. It's going to be okay. Or better yet, let the person come in. Those are the types of things that you learn in golf, and then we apply them to real life.
Yeah, you get stuck behind a car accident. You're more thankful that you're not in the car accident than you are that you are going to be late for an appointment, right? People understand it happens. If you develop yourself as somebody who's early all the time and you're late once, it's okay. You're still early all the time, guy.
Yeah, and that's the other thing that we teach kids, punctuality. Show up on time. Not just show up on time, but show up early. Be prepared. Yeah. If you're on time, you're late.
And one thing I hear you all say, I hear you say it every week, is, you kind of close each class with, how are you going to make someone's life better or make the world a better place on a small scale this week? And then you hold the kids accountable for it, which I love.
No doubt about it. I check with the parents. I ask them, what did Susie do around the house this week? What did she do to help? And they'll tell you. Either they did or they didn't. But the best part is when they do. And the parents go, thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, it takes a village to raise children these days, and that's, if I can be an assistance to that to help them, then all the better.
Well, my wife and I are some of the people that are thanking you every week, so I appreciate you, Sean. And then, kind of going in that same vein with charity and charity tournaments, there are I don't know how many charity tournaments just in Broward County. And I'll sometimes float into South Palm Beach or even go up to Delray for a charity tournament. So one of the other things that I really want to make sure that we do and do a good job of is talking about upcoming charity tournaments and giving the local business community the opportunity to sponsor some of these events, to participate in some of these events. Charity is something that kind of holds dear towards golfers, and charity golf tournaments sometimes are a nonprofit entity's biggest fundraiser of the entire year.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Most charities, that is one of the largest fundraisers. It's a great way to get people together. People love to play golf. If it's going for a good cause, all the better for it.
Yeah. So I have to make sure that I mention, since it's coming up and we're going to probably release this episode in a week or so, March 11th, the St. Bonaventures tournament that our friend Lawrence Franzoni is running. They're still looking for a few more sponsors. They're definitely looking for more golfers. I'm already signed up. I'm playing with 3 friends. I'm trying to get them another foursome. So St. Bonaventures Church, March 11th. You Google it. It pops up. You can register. You can sign up for a sponsorship. If you need more information, reach out to us on social media, and we'll make sure we connect you with the right person. So that one's coming up. I'm very involved with My Family Matters Foundation, which helps kids with cancer in the hospital. Doc Reno from Big 1059 is making this a Cinco de Mayo party this year. He's going to have everything from potentially a live broadcast. The OnPar Podcast will be doing a podcast live on set as well that day.
Definitely looking forward to that.
100%. And he's going to have piñatas. He's going to have balloons. He's going to have margaritas. This is a charity tournament that my wife, who plays golf twice a year in charity tournaments, will not want to miss. So everybody's going to want to go to this thing.
Outstanding.
Another thing, we have some guests coming up. Some of them we've shot already. Some of them we'll be shooting in the future. We want to give local business owners that are doing a phenomenal job and excelling at their profession and going out of their way to be go-givers to other businesses in the community and building those relationships, a chance to showcase their golf story, their business story, share those tidbits of knowledge they've picked up over 20, 30, 40 years of business and business development, and educate how that ties in with golf and business and networking. So we'll have a lot of that coming up as well.
And that kind of ties in with 2 of our organizations, Drew, with First Tee. We have the Young Professionals Group, which is a group of 40 and under business professionals that have a passion for golf and have a passion for giving back. That's an organization, if you go to First Tee's website, Google Young Professionals, it'll come up for you. But this probably won't air in time, but tomorrow night there is an event at PGA Tour Superstore from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. You're welcome to attend, check it out, meet some of the guys. That's the first of about 8 or 9 different events that they have, and it's usually once a month that they'll have something. The other thing that's coming up is our ambassadors golf outing. So if you like to play golf and you like to network, March 14th, we're having a little 9-hole event over at Bridges of Springtree. It's just a $20 entry fee, and you get a $20 gift card from PGA Tour Superstore. So you've got a $20 tax-deductible donation, and you're getting a gift card to PGA Tour Superstore. So it's like you're paying nothing. And then we get a discounted rate to play golf. We play 9 holes. We have a few cocktails and talk about First Tee and upcoming events.
And I've been to a few of those over the last couple of years, and they're great. They kind of got killed by shutdowns for a while, but they're back up and running, which is awesome. I'm a face-to-face guy. Rich Rogers always says that golf is not a contact sport, but business is. And I think I've met, again, some of the greatest people I know who I'm friends with. Some of them my kids call, let's say, Uncle Sean or Uncle Rich or Uncle Ed. And all of those folks are going to be visitors on this podcast. So we're looking forward to that. Let's get into it a little bit as far as tips and tricks, because one of the things that we really want to do here is learn how to become better golfers, even if we're only playing every other week or twice a week sometimes, and then not for a month or whatever the case is. And, my burning question as an amateur, right? I mean, I've only been playing for about 4 years, about a year now, seriously. and I would like to get into the 80s and be able to consistently beat my friends, right? I don't want Curfton to stand a chance out there when we're playing, right?
Yeah, and I get this question all the time. And what it comes down to, Drew, is your ability to know that you're going to strike the ball. Okay, at first it's, please, Lord, help me make contact with this golf ball. You don't even care where it goes at that point. It's just, please make contact with the golf ball. Really, and I'm going to spell this out in future episodes, it does not take much to break 100. It doesn't take much to break 90, but you have to keep the ball in play. If you're blowing it out of bounds 3, 4, 5 times around, or you're dropping the ball in a hazard 3, 4, 5 times around, that's where those scores start escalating very, very quickly. And then the other way that you can really lower your golf game as quickly as possible, you become the best darn putter that you can possibly be, where you're giving yourself an opportunity to make every putt that you look at, and if you don't make it, the next one's a very easy tap in. So that's a huge way that you can automatically start lowering your scores instantly. And there'll be more formulas that I'm going to give the listeners as we go along, but that's the fastest way. Keep the ball in play, become a really good putter.
And my frustration is the opposite of probably every other golfer I know, which is I can putt. You've seen me putt.
Oh, you're an amazing putter. I wish I putted like you.
I just got to get to the green. So that's what we're working on right now. And I'm still practicing the short game at the same time because I don't want to lose that, right? As soon as you start practicing something, it starts going to hell.
No doubt. And this is where people fall into the pitfall of they go to take lessons and there's more than one problem. You know, it's like you've got a vehicle and the brakes are gone and the shocks are done and you need an oil change and the air conditioning doesn't work. So there's multiple things. You can't just fix it all at the same time. You got to do it in little pieces.
So what's your biggest advice as far as the mental game goes? Because we always say the 6 inches that's most important is golf is between your ears.
Well, I mean, look, confidence. Okay, confidence is where it's at. If you have the confidence in yourself to be able to do it, but oftentimes what is the driver for confidence, and that's success.
Practice too, yeah.
And this is one of the things that we teach the kids is success breeds confidence. Confidence breeds success. And we rely on perseverance in the meantime. Perseverance and a lot of patience.
Right, because frustration is no good, but determination is good. I've heard you say that one a bunch of times.
I've got a million of these catchphrases. You're all going to hear.
And that's why I hang out for 2 hours every Saturday, because I keep learning more. So what would you say as far as how often should an amateur golfer who's just playing on the weekends or using it for business networking or screwing around with their friends or playing with their kids, how often would you say we should have a club in our hand?
On a daily basis.
Okay.
Right? It doesn't mean that you have to go to the golf course. It doesn't mean that you have to go to the driving range. It doesn't mean that you have to hit golf balls. You can pick up a golf club and swing. And again, I'm going to give lots of opportunities and tips and stuff that you can do at home. But yeah, on a daily basis, you're trying to create a habit, and habits are only created through repetition.
So what percentage of golfers actually have a club in their hand every day?
Oh, it's very few. That's why most people can't break
0.003%, maybe. Yeah. I mean, so it's just all about practice, learning the right technique and practicing, like getting good at anything, whether it be a sport or business or reading or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a stat the other day where it said 80% of people will never break 100. And, another 10% might be able to break 90. And it got all the way down to 1% of all people who have ever played the game are able to break 70.
I mean, 70 is a low number. That's below par. Like maybe on, an executive course. No, I'm kidding. So as far as tips, like give us one great tip of the day. Let's go right into the Sean's great pro tip of the day. Teach us something, Sean.
Let's save that for another. Let's save that for because we already did the one.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. How about, and this is a question that I will want to ask all of my guests, and this will be the last question, and then we'll read a couple of ads and we're done for the day. But how do I encourage my kids? Really my son, because Tess is in it, but how do I encourage my son and motivate him to stop playing basketball for 5 minutes and swing a golf club?
Listen, you got to let him be him. Right?
Okay.
When I was his age, I wanted to play basketball too. But then shortly thereafter, those opportunities disappear. And if he's already, how old is he, 14, 15?
He's 14 next month, yeah.
Okay. He might as well wait until he's 18 when all of the other opportunities disappear. All the other sports aren't available because he's no longer in school, okay? And he's not playing at the collegiate level. He's going to want to find something with that extra time. And that's exactly what I did. You know, when I turned 18 and I had a scholarship to college, I didn't even have to work. All my college was paid for through the Boys and Girls Clubs of Palm Beach County. What did I do with all that free time? I played a lot of golf. I got a job working at a golf course. 2 years later, I turned pro.
Very nice. Okay, so thank you so much, Sean. It's going to be a pleasure to work with you throughout the year. We're going to be launching one of these every week. And I want to take one more minute and just thank our sponsors. First, VoiceBox PCS in Fort Lauderdale. If you are looking for a place to do your podcast, you need to call Malia Archie yesterday. Second is Steady Returns. As 10,000 Americans turn 70 every single day over the next decade, our country is going to be experiencing a healthcare shortage and an unavoidable crisis. At Steady Returns, they have multiple investment portfolio strategies to choose from that focus on turning this crisis into an opportunity to grow your wealth. Are you looking for a new investment portfolio manager? Do you want steady returns? Set your appointment with Chris Burr at steady-returns.com. And also, Megacore CBD. Not all CBD products are created equal. Megacore CBD products are safe, effective, fast-acting, and organic. Megacore products are designed for your active lifestyle by providing natural relief from your everyday issues. If you don't have the pain stick in your golf bag, you're making a huge mistake. So if you want to buy it online, it's megacorecbd.com. And if you use promo code MEGA10, you can have 10% off your first order. Thanks again to our sponsors. We'll catch you next time on the OnPar Podcast.
Thanks, Drew.